Hey guys, what's going on? Druzy here, back again from my week-long vacation in Florida. It was awesome, good times, but there was a lot of stuff that happened while I was away, and I wanted to talk about quite a bit of it here in today's episode. So no gameplay, I know you guys have been looking forward to that. That will come probably either tomorrow or sometime in the near future, but it's not going to happen right now. So first we're going to look at the news, because there's two things. Obviously, the weekend event is currently going on as I'm recording this video. It's been going on for a couple days now. It is the Man Bear Pig event again. This happened the first week of June, I believe, so it's been less than 2 months and we have the same event again. That's just disappointing. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I was disappointed when I saw that. When I went and I saw the Ubisoft forum post for this event, and I was like, really? You're doing this again? I felt like it was a lot sooner than it really was. I thought it happened like last month, not 2 months ago. It happened roughly about 2 months ago, though. So, you know, again, take that what you will. But the big thing I want to talk about was the survey. So the survey happened. They posted this thing in the news. It's been there. It's been here since about the first of the week, if I remember correctly. I was able to get on just a little bit while I was on vacation. I was not able to get a lot of internet connection a lot of the time. It says, hey new kid, make your voice heard and support the development of the game. Fill out the summer survey today. Thank you for playing with us, South Park Phone Destroyer team. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have done this survey, but it is rather extensive if you haven't done it. I did do it. I was able to get on and fill it all out. It took me around 30 to 40 minutes. It really did take a decent amount of time. There are a lot of questions to go through. There are 2 parts to this survey, and they do tell you that you can do part number 1 and go back and do part number 2 later. Part number 2 really just goes into details of other mobile games that you play, and they just try to gauge what your what your interests are as far as within mobile gaming, outside of mostly just South Park is the main focus in part number 1. But there were a couple specific questions within the survey I took images of because I wanted to discuss them in a little bit more detail. So the first one was, do you plan to buy again something from the premium store? This is a dangerous question for Ubisoft to ask, or RedLynx to ask, whoever developed the survey. I don't know. I assume RedLynx developed the survey in more detail than maybe Ubisoft and or South Park Studios, the companies that help assist with this game's development. This question, I didn't like this question. I understood the question because it's, I guess, important to their view of it, but this is a bad look, in my opinion, for whoever developed the survey to say, hey, you paid money before. Now, here's the ultimate question, is if you haven't spent any money within the game, does the question even pop up on the survey? I would assume it would, because I assume it would not be survey specific to the person that is filling it out. It would just be a flat survey that was developed by whoever developed it. But I believe the question before it asked if you've ever bought anything in the premium store, and then it followed up with this question, would you buy anything again? And then it actually asks you what specifically you would buy within the premium store. So I didn't like that question a lot. Understood it, didn't agree with it. That's a dangerous road that you're going to try to go down if you're just going to worry about, you spent money in this game. Where are you going to spend money more in the future, so that we can make more money off of you? Because that's been the biggest complaint by everybody that plays this game right now. This question kind of frustrated me because, as you see at the bottom, it was the parentheses part that really frustrated me about this question. Please select maximum of 3 answers. What would you like to see added or modified in the game in priority? There were a ton of stuff on this list in this question. If you see this question in detail, there are all but 2 things on this question list of about 12 to 14 selections you can make for only 3 that need to be prioritized within this game. A lot of it was bug fixes, balance changes, I believe it was matchmaking system, a bunch of other things. Addition to PvE, locker limit system, a whole bunch of different stuff. And I thought all but 2, again, should have been selected, because those are all priorities. If you want this game to exist long term, something I discussed in my RedLynx video that got a lot of up and down viewership and / support from you guys as the community within the comments section of that video that I posted last week, or earlier this week, that a lot of the focus that people were very frustrated about was the focus of, this game just trying not to really grow the game, that this game could be in danger of, I mean, we're not even close to a year into this game yet. I mean, we're relatively close, but we're not about 3/4 of the way through a full year of this game being out, and we haven't seen a ton of widespread change in the positive, little bits of change in the positive throughout the course of this game's history, but then we've seen some backsteps as well, which is not good if we're looking at long-term growth within this game. And there are a lot of things that need to be prioritized, a lot of things that need to be fixed, and I'm not saying that Red Lynx isn't working on it. I just don't know how quickly they're getting to it or what they're prioritizing in their mind is the most important thing, but it seems like, based on a lot of people, a lot of content creators are leaving this game because the focus seems to be more on profits rather than the gameplay itself and or the community itself, which is frustrating, and nobody wants to see that. And the last question that I wanted to talk about, should you pay for a subscription system at South Park Phone Destroyer? How interested would you be in this? Do not do this. That's how interested I am. Don't ever do this. Red Lynx, if you do this, 90% of the community will leave this game. I'm telling you that right now. This question was the stupidest question on this entire thing. And when I mentioned that all but 2 answers on this last question that should be modified in priority, one of those 2 that I suggested should not be selected was literally, it said there should be a subscription system at South Park Phone Destroyer. No, there should not, ever. 1 meaning not interested at all. If anybody answers it not 1, you're an idiot. Just answer 1. If you get to this survey, we need everyone to answer 1. Nobody should ever answer 5. Nobody should be interested in a subscription system at all. I don't see any benefit to it whatsoever. There's going to be varying degrees of the subscription system. I mean, it's not going to be $5 a month, guys. It's going to be something atrociously ridiculous. So let's just remove that altogether. Let's not think about a subscription system. It should not happen. Please, Red Lynx, don't ever consider doing this. I mean, you're considering doing it, you're asking a question, so you're obviously considering it. Don't do it. That's what I'm going to say about it. Just don't do it. I hated this question, and I pray that this doesn't happen. If this subscription system happens, I will probably stop making content for South Park Phone Destroyer, and I'm saying it right now. And there aren't very many of us left. I'm sorry. So you're going to lose one. You're going to lose one of the bigger ones that a lot of people continue to tell me that if you do this. So don't do this. The last thing that I want to talk about real quick, guys, was the second week of challenge mode did happen this last week, and this one was a little bit different than the first one. So the first one was just you made a challenge mode deck and friendly battles, leveling system, things like that, which was still the same for this one, which looks like that's the way challenge mode's going to be going forward. But this last one was sudden death mode, which essentially meant the first one to take a phone down won. So it was the first to get 1 bar or 1 phone destroyed ended up winning the match. It was kind of fun. It was kind of wacky, to be honest with you. I'm going to showcase with you guys real quick the deck that I used for it. So this actually was the deck that I used in the event. I know that a couple cards that really ran rampant in this sudden death mode was someone like Big Gay Al. My Big Gay Al was not high enough level to be competitive in this. You saw a lot more Dougies than normal, just a lot of characters are going to do a lot of chip damage, things like that. I was able to be relatively successful in the challenge with this deck. I went, as you can see, I went 7-3. I was only able to do 1 run of this, again, because I didn't have consistent internet access throughout the course of my stay, but I was able to have it enough to at least get 7 wins with it. I actually lost the first 2 matches and then went on a 7-0 run to then lose there to go 7-3. I believe I finished within the top. I didn't finish very high in the event. My final placement was 3,155 in it. Also, another big thing was they made some recent changes to the challenge mode prize system. So as you can see here, we wanted to let you know how the prizes will be given out for this week's Sudden Death Challenge. We're going to be looking for the new kids with a score of 194 and above. All of them shall receive 5 new epic cards to call their own. These will be awarded once a week. Challenge mode comes to an end. So essentially, if I'm not mistaken, to get the 194 mark, you have to go at least 12-0 in the event. So even if you don't finish in the top, whatever it is, to get all those prizes, you're still going to get 5 guaranteed epic cards if you go 12-0 in a challenge mode. So hopefully this is something that continues from what it looks like there from Toller. It is going to continue going forward. Hopefully that is something, a positive change, because a lot of people really complained about the prize mode system in challenge mode after week 1. So it looks like Red Lynx is at least listening to the community here and trying to fix that going forward. So that is a positive. But there are still one other big thing in that developer update that I forgot to mention. It is here at the bottom. Moving on to other news, let's talk about the upcoming balance patch. So as you guys are usually aware of, whenever a new season starts, which should be starting in the near future, I believe it's this coming Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, will be when the reset happens for this, and I'll double check that here before I wrap up the video when exactly that will reset. They normally do a balance changes with the new season. However, it looks like they are not going to be doing that this time, and here is the reasoning. Our design team is working on rarity scaling this time around. As you can imagine, this is not something we want to rush. We're looking at how card strengths currently scale in relation to rarity, and these are changes that we will not be making lightly in order to have more time to make them in the best decisions possible. There will be a balance update after this legendary season. Something like this is not worth taking extra time to make sure that we get it right. Now here is the risk that you're going to do over the reward here, is because if you're doing it, say mid-season, it could completely change the way the season structure works. So if you guys wait let's say 2 weeks from now, so when the new season kicks off next week and you wait maybe 2 weeks after that, that's halfway through a season, which you did a giant balance change before during the middle of a season or towards the end of a season when you did the mystical nerfs a long time ago within the game, and that frustrated a ton of people because a ton of people were high level and legendary with the mystical cards that you then nerfed, some of them to the ground and some of them not very much at all in all reality. But so are you going to make this mistake again, Red Lynx? I hope you don't. I hope that this is a positive thing, because I have been stating multiple times here on the channel that there needs to be a scaling based on that. There shouldn't be level 7 legendary cards. That is the dumbest thing that I've heard, and I hope that this scaling goes to that effect, to where essentially like maybe a max level 4 legendary card is the highest level legendary you can have within the game. Because if you really want to just continue to make people dump money into cards to get them up to all of them to level 7, that is just ridiculous. As a common card, it makes sense to then have rares be scaled at 6, 5 for epics, 4 for legendaries, is the way that I've been stating needs to be the way it goes, and then just increase the tier status of those cards, increase the number of cards they need to obtain to maybe rank them up to where that they're on a level playing field, and there is a cap, not everything to level 7, because that is just, it's just dumb to me. It's just too much investment that could go to other cards, to where people would have the ability to have a wide range of available cards to them rather than just have 12 or 14 cards that they were able to get to max level relatively quickly, and then not have any other materials left for any other cards to have whenever balance changes happen, events happen, different things like that, where you need to use different cards, have different strategies, and you're not able to do that because you focused on all your materials for the free-to-play community primarily in just some specific cards that they were able to level up and they know are going to work for them. So hopefully that they get this right, and hopefully they don't. I don't want them to rush this, I really don't. If it gets pushed to next season, in my opinion, maybe that's for the better. Just do tweaking throughout the course of this season as far as balance changes, glitches, things like that within matchmaking system, and then maybe focus on this rarity change going into this coming season, maybe in September, rather than focus on rushing it mid-August or something like that, and then it cause other problems throughout the course of this season in the ending season here in August. And as you can see here, I've showcased for you here at the last second, 2 days and 6 hours left in the season. And as you can see, Papa Roscoe, as I'm recording this, is in first place right now. Now, everyone knows Papa Roscoe is in a lot of videos with Haze Demon. He does a lot of pack openings, things like that, and has spent quite a bit of money on the game. But Salvis is not in first place right now. That is obviously subject to change. There is 2 more days left in this season, 2 days and change left in this season. So good luck to everybody pushing throughout. I will definitely do a video when the legendary season resets with my pack openings along with some other stuff. I've been trying out a new deck that I'm really excited to showcase for you guys, maybe tomorrow or maybe Monday. It's a little more off meta, and it's been really fun for me to be playing throughout the course of this weekend event. Do plan to stream a little bit, hopefully maybe able to stream a little tonight, maybe tomorrow, for sure, but try to get some streaming in definitely before the end of the week. Thank you guys again for the continued support. Glad to be back here home finally after this nice vacation. But until next time, guys, my name is Druzy,